Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a Patreon cast for the week of October the 28th. If you're watching this that week, thank you for supporting me on patreon.com/FalconPaladin for as little as $1 a month. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for being a patron. If you're watching this in November, welcome to the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button for more Brood War action posted 5 times a week. Alright. So here on Bloody Ridge, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Soma. Man, we like Soma a lot, don't we? He's doing great recently. Oh boy. In ASL, in that best of 7 I cast between him and Sack, he looked so good. And in the bottom left, it is Best, who's been an elite Protoss player for years now. Definitely a favorite of many Protoss players who are watching this right now. I'm excited for an elite, incredible match. Credible means something different than incredible, like the opposite, actually. A credible match would be one that you could obviously believe and is fairly standard, whereas incredible is something that is awesome and maybe you can't believe your eyes. So I'm looking forward to that here. We're on Bloody Ridge, if I didn't mention that previously. Pretty fine map, I would say. Fairly constricted, which is a bit of a problem for Zerg players in general, unless they're going mutas and stuff, because mutas don't care about ground obstructions. Cool first play here. Ooh, into Extractor Trek, giving him 10 available supply out of the 9, or 10 supply out of the available 9 for extra mineral production here. And pool firsting, that looked like that was that was a pool first. About a 9 pool, if I remember correctly, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Expanding later. And yeah, I mean, that means what you want to do is get your forge up and get some cannons as soon as you can, because this hatch is going to finish. Or the pool, rather, is going to finish. There will be lings coming across. It's a pretty straight shot down to the bottom left here. It's a 2-player map. You don't have to find your opponent at all, so this early play is pretty good. But that's why you probe scout, and that's why Best knows exactly what's coming, and he's not going to die to this. I'm actually kind of surprised that Soma's going for it anyway. Right? Like, he sees the probe. He knows this is getting scouted, and there you go. At least 4 lings are on the way. So you're going to want at least 1 cannon. And then he's like, are there more? And there are. 6 lings. Let's make 2. Time for 2 cannons, Soma. Or Best. Soma can't make cannons. That's silly. 13. Yeah, about a 13-12 hatch coming up there from Soma. And honestly, I kind of at least a probe block something about this. Although all the lings are chasing this probe. I guess at this point they figure this is all the damage they're going to get. So we just dedicate all of these lings to killing this probe because we're not getting through. Like, Best knows what's going on. He's not getting the second cannon because he realizes the lings are over here and not actually making a beeline for his front door. So there you go. Gateway instead. If the lings get in the general vicinity, we'll maybe plug this with a probe. Call it good. But look at this probe control from Best. It's nuts. It is insanely good. And that's a quick third hatch. Look at this. Look at that quick third hatch from Soma. I like it, man. You go pool first into about a 12 hatch and then get your other hatch down sub 3 minutes. I like it a lot. The Overlord saw the expansion. He recognized it wasn't a 1-base attack coming from Best. He recognized his gateway's just finishing. He has no way to punish this early third hatch, I don't think. If he starts a Zealot right now, like 2, he gets 2 Zealots, runs them over, maybe he can get some stuff done, but I think the ling count is just, it's too high. Too high for 1 Zealot to do anything. And if you've got to wait for 2, then additional lings can be made. And I love this. I love early third bases from Zerg. I wish they did it more often. So Nexus coming in at the natural base. And Cybercore coming in at home. So yeah, 1 cannon for safety. I cannot believe this probe is still, this probe has full health. This is crazy. This probe has full, oh, I jinxed it. This probe has full health. And then it dies terribly. As it does. Oh, amazing. Amazing stuff so far. I'm really enjoying this game. I mean, obviously, Soma here is just going to make a bunch of stuff. Hydralisk Den? It's got to be a Hydra Den. He would have started a lair by now if he was worried about making Scourge for the incoming Corsairs, which, by the way, are on the way because the Stargate's almost done. So yeah, at this stage, just Hydras defending against the Scourge because you need something against the Corsairs. If you don't have anything to kill the Corsairs, you're in a lot of trouble. He's got a 4th base down here, too. Wow. Wow. All right, man. Soma is greed mode. Turned up to 100 here. Can Best slow this down? I mean, I almost feel like Best has to kill a base here. Like in the next 3-4 minutes, or he's just going to be overwhelmed by Zerg. All of the income available, all of the larva available. The thing is, this is really hard to defend 3 bases against an incoming Zealot speed lot attack, right? Because that's what the traditional follow-up here is. You make the Corsairs, you make a ton of Zealots, you go for the Citadel, either DTs or Zealots. It looks like Zealots based on the production we're seeing here. So you have to protect against speed lots at this base, and your 3rd base, and your 4th base, which it just seems like that's a lot of static defense you have to account for. Or at least evolution chambers blocking off access for the Zealots to your squishy drones here. It's really problematic. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. See, Hydra. Hydra will chase away Corsair. Hydra will kill Corsair before Corsair kills Overlord, because Overlords have a lot of health, and Corsairs are terrible against single targets. So, alright, let the Hydra pressure begin. It's going to be good, because these Zealots don't have speed yet. If they had speed, they could jump out here and shove this off the front porch. But as they don't, the Hydras are probably going to get a gateway here, and honestly, the Forge, man, delaying that +1 upgrade would be massive. It would be so good for Soma. I love that he's putting the pressure on Best before Best can put the pressure on him. Get the Forge, man. You have time to get the Forge. I feel like you could bring a few Hydras over here and stay out of range of these cannons. He's trying to... No, he was trying to find a spot. Okay. We're just going to let that +1 finish. We're not worried about it at all. Apparently. I'm worried about it. Templar Archives coming in. This is the time of the Hydralisk. Once the storm comes in, the time of the Hydralisk will be kind of over. Although, if you've been watching ASL, you know, mass Hydra stuff against Protoss has been kind of insanely good. Like, you can storm a million Hydralisks, but if the Terran or the Zerg player... Golly, my brain today. But if the Zerg player makes 1.5 million Hydralisks, it doesn't really matter, does it? They still will overwhelm you. This is the strategy we've been seeing. Soma seems to be implementing it here. Single DT in production, but I don't know that the Overlord deaths have been all that impactful today. I haven't seen Soma get supply blocked anyway. I mean, this Overlord's dead. Hold on. Look at these Hydras coming to protect their buddy. Oh, they're so good. See, the Zealots are making a beeline for the bottom right base, and you can't have tons of static defense at every one of these bases. That's too much drone commitment. I don't know. It might be time to pay the piper for the greedy opening that Soma opened with here. There's not enough to save this. Big old line of Hydras coming down, but the Zealots... Oh, no. Chomp, 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 chomp. +1 Zealots with speed, man. Oh, you're getting surrounded all of a sudden. That's not good. Boy, you know what? That's enough Hydras. No upgrades at all. Except for range and except for speed, which are great upgrades. So it's not fair to say no upgrades, I guess. Yeah, look at this. It's enough Hydras to chase these Zealots away. This is looking so bad for Best. So bad for Best. Yes, he's up in overall supply, but without the storm... a little bit careless here from Soma. Gonna lose a few Hydras for nothing. I mean, he's done a good job keeping most of these Zealots alive, I want to say. This is largely the number that he went out with. Now he's pulling back. Now, Storm is not done. Storm is so almost done. But almost only counts as horseshoes and hand grenades, as my grandpa used to say. Oh, man. Denying that +2 attack upgrade would be super good. But guess what? Storm is done. Here it comes. A beautiful Storm. And the Zealots rushing out there, so the Hydras will jump in and then get stormed, and the splits. This is just a dance. This is a very delicate dance. The Hydras trying to finish off that Forge. The Zealots have to engage. Oh, they get the Forge. That damage output was huge. Okay, so +2 attack is denied. That's not good. DT, what the? DT gets 11 kills up here. Because a DT single-shotting your workers does not trigger the alert that your workers are under attack, or your units are under attack. So nice job. +2 attack, it gets denied, but DT kills 11 drones up here in the top right, And Soma is at 37 workers to 57 probes on the other side of it, while Best takes a third base. Who came out on top of that exchange? I'm going to say Best did. I'm going to say Best DT did more work up here than the Hydras did, sniping down a Forge and delaying a +2 attack that got restarted. Maybe even, yeah, restarted as soon as it died, based on how far along it is on that production tab. Alright, so Soma's into Lurker aspect. Again, Lurkers are kind of a big deal. I mentioned Mass Hydra, but also having a ton of Lurkers is very good in this situation too. Who did we see? We saw somebody take down, I want to say Shuttle. Man, who was that in ASL? It was a crazy amount of Hydralisks and Lurkers and just set up a contain everywhere the Protoss player wanted to go, and there was just nothing the Protoss could do. It was abysmal. It is terrible. So Scouting Overlord sees the third base timing coming up for Best. Feels pretty good about this. It's like, ah, third base just now, huh? Well, alright, I've got 4 bases. I have droned myself back up to 50 workers because I'm a Zerg player and I can do that when you're on this many hatcheries. With macro hatcheries, mind you. He's got macro hatches at every one of his bases, except for the main, and Queen's Nest is coming in. Ooh, Maelstrom and Dark Archon. Okay, so is Dark Archon just part of the meta now? I've had so many Dark Archon games cast on this channel in the last couple of years, and the first couple of years, they were never a thing. They were so rarely ever a thing, and now? It feels like every ZVP, every other ZVP maybe, has got these Dark Archons. Maelstrom, great. Only works against biological units, which again, Zerg has all biological units, so it's very useful. And a Hive on the way. So we're going to see Plague. We're going to see Dark Swarm. Depending on the response here from Best, it could be all Plague, it could be all Dark Swarm, it could be both. I have to keep an eye on that. So expanding up here, I'm guessing, is your next logical location. And honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't. I guess the problem is there's no easy access. Maybe here would be better. Man, but then you can drop here easily if you're Protoss. That's interesting choice. Where's Soma going to expand next? That's always the question, isn't it? Well, the Observer wants to know if there's a 5th base up there, and by golly, there's not. Nor is Soma really posturing to take it at all. 5 Lurkers in production, Hive finishing up here. 152 to 134 supply. Best is up, but fairly even based on the mandates of ZVP and the meta and how this works. Hydras have +1 attack. The +2 is now done for these gateway units. And there's going to be a window here. There's going to be a window where these gateway units are going to be better than they are for the rest of the game because Plague is on the way. That's a Defiler round coming up from Soma. Adrenal Glands on the way from the Zerg player too. And just going after this 4th, but that Lurker sunken wall is something to behold. I can't believe that rebuffed, like this rebuffed all of that. There's a handful of Lings here too, but that's 3 Sunkens and 3 Lurkers. And the whole army's like, nope, not terribly interested. And same thing, Lurkers on the high ground, not happy about this. He's got the Dragoons, but the high ground means you're missing attacks every once in a while. Oh boy. Dark Archon biding his time. Biding his time. And look at this 4th base from Best. He's taking this one. And it looks like next Observer snipe. There you go. So someone's going to take the north. Which, again, hard to access on the ground. You have to go down here and all the way up there. Just super mega annoying. Alright. So maybe arrows are the answer for scrolling here. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah, and if you're having trouble with high ground Lurkers, your answer is Psionic Storm every day of the week. Spire on the way here from Soma 2, maybe for Scourge to try to pick off these Observers. Always very good when you're going Lurker heavy, which he is. Consume on the way because, of course, you're getting Consume. And actually, Metabolic Boost being researched before Adrenal Glands was researched. Or after Adrenal Glands was researched. How odd. Music is Protoss and stately. Are we going for it, Best? Looks like you're posturing to go for it, man. He really wants to kill a base. And he's making his move for this bottom right-hand fourth base. Maybe third base, depending on the timing. I don't actually know. He decided it's time, though. Kills all the lurkers. Backside attack, a little bit scary, though. Dark Archon, not sure when his time will come. But it's on its way. Dark Swarm is here. Lurkers kind of wandering out of the Dark Swarm a little bit, but causing problems nevertheless. Oh, he did Maelstrom a couple of the Hydras. I don't know if that was super impactful on its engagement, but Best is still alive down here in the middle of Nowheresville. Great storms, man. Like, I was going to check the kill count on that High Templar, but then he morged. Summoned himself into an Archon that died. Ah, terribly tragic. Ooh, feedback on the Defiler. Not bad. Oh, Dark Archon, get out of there. It's too many Lings, Dark Archon. Oh, surrounded and exploded. Dark Archons have a very abrupt death animation. They just go pop like balloons. Don't make cool exploding noises like Archons do either. It's very much its own thing. Alright, 151 to 123 supply. I still think Best is in a fine position. He's made some good trades here. He hasn't been able to kill a base yet, which is an obstacle. That DT did all of the drone killing today and really hasn't been able to be followed up at all. So, Soma looking good. Looking good. Hydralisks trying to take out this bottom base. And just forcing his way up this ramp, jumping right on top of these lurkers because there are not enough of them to handle these +3, +1 armor zealots. Well, looks like we're doing a bit of a base trade here. 1 for 1. Both players losing their furthest away, hardest to defend bases. So logically, this makes a lot of sense that they would do so. Yeah, hatch down, drones massacred, Soma down to 45 drones. And I don't know, there's really not much of an effort to save this base at all. I guess other than coming in and dropping, dropping in some High Templar for swarming purposes. All right. He doesn't save everything. This lurker is still stabbing stuff. Ling's jumping into the party. This game, man, I cast an incredible ZVP on this map not that long ago, and I can't remember who it was. It's not the same game, but it was very similar to this. I imagine any ZVP on Bloody Ridge is going to have a similar setup to this one. Oh yeah, 160 to 91 supply. Best is fully in command of this game. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to win or anything, because I don't know where this game goes after this, but his numbers are looking great. He held on to his furthest away base, and he sniped the Zergs. So it's 4 base to 4 base, which is horrifically bad for Soma. Alright, well, the Storm is beating Dark Swarm at this point. If you had to put them on a tier list, I think I would put Storm above Dark Swarm, depending on exactly what tiers were available. Plague on the way here from Soma, working on additional DTs here. Is Best. Man, there's a StarCraft 2 player whose name is Zest, and like, the saying is Zest is best. Every time I say is best, my brain's like, wait, Zest is here? No, shut up. That's StarCraft 2. We're in Brood War mode right now. We can do this. Man, not even retaking this base. He's thinking about it, but then he realizes there's a whole Protoss army coming, so he bails on that plan. Is anyone... Oh, the Zealot's check. Look at the Zealot checking the corners. Oh, doors and corners. Oh. I feel like he saw that, but he wasn't programmed to attack move? I don't actually know. I see you. I see you, the only one who knew me. Now you're killing my spawning pool. Ah, that was a really fast snipe. Lings are a big important part of the composition here for Soma. Not being, a little bit lazy. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? 8 HP, gets out of there. out of there like shareware. There was a plague that got tossed down somewhere on a couple zealots, but it doesn't seem like really anything too big. So yeah, he's replacing his spawning pool. I'm assuming this is it? Yeah, as far away from the top right as it can be. Usually if a Zerg player loses a tech structure, they will rebuild it as like the opposite side of the map, as though that will keep it extremely safe. I'm not sure that it will. He's making 2 Dark Archons, man. Best is believing in the Dark Archon play. The longer this goes on, I mean, Best is taking a 5th base. It's almost done. I just don't see how Soma comes back and wins this game. Best is crushing it. His storms have been on point. He's killed so many Zerglings with storms today. Plague-oo! Nice plague on all of those. Man, all of the High Templar catch that? I think they did. So we've got a plagued Archon coming in. That's not something you see every day. Definitely not something you see every day. A plagued Dark Templar? Which they care about that as much as their brethren, the Blue Archons, do. Or Dark Archon, rather. Hello, boys. Alright, so this is a Hydra transition. It is so many Archons that, yeah, 9 Hydras at a time seems to make sense to me, but by golly, it's 196 to 138 supply. This is just the worst for Soma. He's trying to retake his 5th base, but like, I don't know, man. He's defending it with a ton of lurkers, but Archons don't really care. I mean, maybe you don't just want to A-move into this, but like, Archons in general trade pretty well against lurkers, but maybe not when there are this many and they have +3 attack. It gets a little bit dicey with that splash damage when there's 26 damage applied to it at all times. Another plague, ooh, gets tossed down here. Well, this is some abject chaos for you that Best decides to back out from. Because in general, you must be casting spells with these Dark Archons. They gotta be feedbacks. I'm just not seeing any Maelstroms or hearing them at all, but this is what the Mass Archon is for. It is built for this scenario where you have the Dark Swarm up and your Dragoons are useless. Archons are better. Alright, so Soma's recovered some of his lost everything here. He's back up to 154 supply. Best is still at 180, so the advantage that Best was enjoying has largely been cut into by Soma's ability to take his 5th base, although Best has his 5th base running. So I don't see this still going very well in the Zerg's favor unless he can kill that top left. There just aren't enough Hydras here. Oh, feedback on the Defiler. Not enough to kill it, and somehow it still has 3 HP before it gets stormed. I mean, sure. 1 storm to kill a 3 HP Defiler, I guess that's worth it. But Best, I mean, can he handle Soma's million lurker challenge? This almost requires Reavers, man. Like, I'm looking at this. I know Archons trade well here, but that is almost a Reaver scenario. Yeah, Scarab damage coming in, making another robotics facility. He's like, you know what? That's a lot. A lot of lurker. And you know what that means? Well, it definitely means Reavers. Man, see, that's what happens when there are just too many lurkers and not enough zealots. Hydra's going for a bit of a counterattack here. They're going to murder this Archon before he gets a single kill. And moving into the natural base. Dude, Soma has swung this game in ways I did not see coming at all. I did not think this was possible, but he's doing some serious work all of a sudden. Robotics facility to natural down. We know that Best wants that because he just built another one. Storm on the choke is your best option to try to stay alive here. And you're going to kill a lot, but you can't kill all of them. That is the lesson of this strategy that Soma's employing right now. Observers are here, but what's going to kill these lurkers? Dragoons. Dragoons that are 3-2-2 are definitely going to do that. Lurker's just, you know, generally killing stuff here inside the main base, sitting on the production of best and causing some major problems for zealots that are popping out of gateways. But, these guys are going to, well, I was going to say they're going to be hard to detrench, but it's fine. Okay, big old swarm. Yeah, at this point where Best is only up like 15 supply, Soma's ahead. He's looking great. Great, Tamicha. Reaver's in production here. Reavers, there we go. The Reavers are at the back. DT's in the mix here too. Did Soma remember to bring Overlords? That is the Defiler really wants to cast something. Changes his mind instantly. Decides to back on out. And the Reaver tech switch here from Best has been good. Man, this game, I feel like we're moving towards an epic tag. I really do. I know I see your comments where it's like, Falcon thinks everything's an epic tag. Look, I really only tend to cast the longer games, and the longer a game is, the more chance it has of becoming epic. It's a scientific fact. A 30-second game, not epic. A 10-minute game, possibly more. Plague, ooh, coming down. Defiler takes a shot, but it was running away, and therefore does not die. Storm, Plague, Spellcaster, Shenanigans. Yeah, like an hour-long game. Statistically, an hour-long game is going to be epic in some way. You've probably mined out the map. That turns into crazy endings. Man, Best is just trying to get out of his front door at this point, and he's got enough to do it, I think. Like, if the Reavers are more involved here, it'd be a better situation. Man, Archon stays alive. Another Plague-oo all over these dudes. It is 2 upgrades for the gateway units and the robo units and anything ground that shares that upgrade. It's some good upgrades, yeah? The Lurkers are 3-3, the Lings are 3-3, plus Adrenal Gland. Nice snipe on that Observer. But there are more where that came from. Yeah, I don't know that... Okay, I'm back on the Best is going to win this game train because he's up about 27, 30 supply. He's on equal bases to the Zerg player. The Zerg can't possibly make equal trades. Did I miss this dying? I'm sorry. Okay, we're not on equal bases anymore. This base died to Lurkers and Hydras would be my guess. While this contain was set up, and it was just... I'm so sorry. It's dead, though. We're caught up. That said, 156 to 116 supply is not a good place to be if you're a Zerg player at all. He's mined out pretty much everything but that 12 o'clock base. And this is where it gets dicey for Zerg players, man. You run out of income faster because you have more workers here. You take your bases earlier, which means they don't last as long into the game as, for example, a Protoss' bases will last. Plague-oo again. This is a plaguey game. Beast versus YSC was the most plaguey game I've ever seen, but this is giving it a run for its money right now. This has been a lot of Plague-oo. I just morphed a Lurker Rag. Oh, look who took the middle. Soma, you took the middle base. Alright, alright. Soma's doing some good things here. He's taking new sources of income and killing best sources of income. Which, in a nutshell, is how you win games of StarCraft, generally. The economic game is definitely an important one. I don't know why that Zealot wouldn't try to kill that Defiler, but I guess if it's in AI mode, it's just targeted to attack stuff that's attacking him, and the Defiler wasn't at that point because it doesn't have a basic attack. That Plague whiffed. I don't think I've seen a whiff Plague in some time. Soma, nothing but air there. Yeah, man, there's double gas. There are tons of resources in here. This is good. This is good cooking. This is good living in this middle. If it can be held, Soma can win this game. This has been some really, really nice back and forth action. These are my favorite kind of StarCraft games, where it's up and down. You're not quite sure who's going to win at any given moment. He's trying to come in from different angles to wipe this out, but is it enough? Nice observer snipe. I heard that. And no, it's an abort. Abort! Pull back. It's real scary. There's Hydras coming from the flank. There's reinforcements into the middle here. The Lurkers are still alive. I repeat, the Lurkers are still alive. And Best has to pull back. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't retaken this base. It has enough resources to be worth it, right? Yeah. Barely. I mean, and there's like 1,300 gas in there, which Best... I mean... This game looks like it's going the distance, so I feel like retaking that base would be totally worth it. Can he defend it is the larger question. He is probe transferring. Is he long distance mining? No, he's transferring to the top left. All right, that's fair. So the 12 o'clock base by Zerg is looking good. Yeah, about as many resources the center base has, because these are smaller mineral patches in here. Best obviously doesn't think he can hold it, or thinks it's not worth it to retake that base. Which I don't know if I agree with that. Drones sniped though. Storm sniped. Down to 38 drones now. Soma's lost a lot of workers today. Another plague. Ooh, all over these poor Protoss units. A lot of them are Archons. Some of them were High Templar and are now Archons. So they come into life as a plagued Archon, which is just weird. Filer devs have been insane today. Reavers. Hey, guess what? We got the plus 25 attack on that Scarab upgrade. Goodbye, Sunken. Goodbye, Zerglings. Goodbye, Hydralisks. Ow, ow, ow. All right. Reaver's doing some damage here. Best is trying to put the hammer down. I think if he kills the center base, he's got this thing won. Soma really needs this, and I'm not convinced he can hold it. Okay, that plague. Oh, look how the shuttle and his own Zerglings, which is not ideal. You don't want to plague your ownlings because they'll die easy. They're already very squishy. Does it really matter if they're plagued or not? Oh, the shuttle! Oh, the shuttle and the Reaver get sniped. Another storm on a bunch. Man, a bunch of these drones dying. This is our home. Another plague. Ooh, this might earn the title of plaguiest game I've ever cast. It is so much plague. Yeah, your Reaver shots do not care about the Dark Swarm, friends. Ow. Drone down. Ow. Drone, or Zergling down. See, yeah, I mean, some of these are long-distance mining probes, some of them. This is getting an epic tag. I mean, I don't know. I really feel like Best has this thing, but Soma's made some comebacks already. If we can dislodge this army that's sieging him, sure, he can win this game. He's going for it, man. He's setting up along that backside wraparound, trying to come from the front. That's not going very well. I just don't think he has enough is the problem. Yeah, no, that's not happening. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's pretty good. Ah, reinforcing Hydras show up. I guess who's here too? Mr. Storm. And Soma has to retreat from this position. He killed a lot of stuff. He really did. Another storm attempt. Well, storm success here. And it's 29 drones remaining for Soma. But these resources he's been able to get from the center base are hugely important. I don't know. I just feel like this is probably a Protoss favored map, or a Zerg disfavored map at the very least. Eating the storms a little bit. Archon's not trading well versus these Hydras, though. Dragoons and Zealots having a better time with it. 71 to 155 supply. I don't see it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. I'm looking at the lay of the land. Soma just doesn't have the army for this. He's trying to pick off... Who gets that Archon? I mean, could be worse. Killing Archons is always good. It's just there's High Templars sitting out here the whole time just waiting to storm this if it gets saturated. And there's not much you can do about it. Trying to Reaver this stuff, but Hydras shove them out, Storm shoves them away. It's a game of cat and mouse right now. Good gravy. This is, I mean, Soma's holding on. If he wins this thing, I'm going to be boggled. Best is just kind of slowly, steadily winning this game, making good trades. Taking out lurkers from far away, Scourge, trying to get these observers, trying to get the shuttles. Not great success there. Zerglings are like, did he take this base? No? Alright, that's weird. So many drones have died today. I wish I had a drone death count because it's a lot. Also, this middle hatchery is done. That lurker's got 5 HP and he's going to escape with his life somehow. Yeah, so never mind. No escaping for you. All right, it's 3 times the supply for Best right now, and the middle base for Soma's gone. He's down to 23 drones. This is his remaining source of income. In fairness, Best is done too. Best does not have any income at the moment. So nobody can really replace their army. It's just that Best has more army to risk here. More army he can spend and still win the game compared to what Soma has, which is basically a bunch of Hydras. And like 2 lurkers that aren't quite ready yet, and that's it, man. That is it. And the problem is, now the Protoss can move in here and take this income, and if that happens, especially if that happens, the goodbye to the Zerg. Best has this thing. I mean, this is mined out. This is mined out. I still think retaking this base would have been a good thing. Best's production tab is empty. He is not spending a gosh darn thing right now. He really wants the center base. And this Hydra army, is there just enough zealots? With, again, 332 upgrades. Slowly sieging up. Oh man, every unit that dies for Soma is such an important unit. Hydras could, I mean, sure, we'll pick off a few of these long distance mining probes. That seems reasonable. And a DT or a High Templar or whatever that was. Dude, what? No. No, no. Oh, your probes are walking through a storm. That one survived somehow. High Temp. Oh, but losing like 3 High Templar is bad. He's reduced it to 127 to 54 supply. Observer sniped. Lurkers worth their weight in gold at this point, although you can blindly storm where lurkers are. You don't have to see them at all. Oh, such good storms. Best's going to get up there. I don't know if Best is going to get up there, man. And that's it. Soma's out. Best is your winner. In 38 minutes and 16 seconds in one heck of a match. That was fantastic. That was good. That was good. That was some good ZVP. And again, it's hard to win this the longer the game goes on as if you're Zerg. You really have to take the center base or like somehow consistently deny this base or this base from the Protoss. If you can't do one of those things, you're going to lose just through sheer economics. And that's largely what happened here. I mean, he had the center for a while, and he did actually get a lot of resources out of this 12 o'clock. And he did kill this base. But overall, it's just too hard. It is too hard to hold this base. I like that Best saved up his resources for a Nexus in this location. Yeah, I mean, Soma was on the verge of winning this game a few times, which is always impressive. But at the end of the day, Best just used everything in the Protoss arsenal. Dark Templar, High Templar, Archons, Dark Archons, Dragoons, Zealots, Reavers, Corsairs. I mean, all of the tricks of the trade here, how you beat a Zerg player is with those ingredients. You don't want to go Carrier. Not on this map anyway. Maybe on Outsider. You don't want to go Scout because they're too expensive and garbage. But like every other tool in the toolbox came out. And if you're struggling against Zerg in your Protoss, like this is how you do it. You just have to have every tool in the toolbox ready. If your opponent's going a lot of Hydras, you better have Storm at the ready. If they're going for a bunch of Zerglings, Archon Zealot. It's going to be really good in that situation. Storm also very good. You just need all the tools. Is it a lot of a lot of lurkers? Then Reavers are going to be the answer. Just Best always had the answer for what Soma was going for, and Soma never quite had the economy to win that thing. So, fantastic. Really, really good stuff. All right, so end of the day, 338,000 points for Best, 306,000 points for Soma. 900 to 300 units produced in favor of the Zerg, but the killed ratio reflects that pretty effectively. Structures raised. Soma actually raised 29 Protoss structures today. That's a lot. That is more than you normally see, but not enough to win. And then resources are about even, which, maybe 5,000 more resources spent over 38 minutes for Soma. It's not enough. You need to outspend by 10 to 15,000 at least to win this thing, based on how Best was playing. So absolutely wonderfully fantastical game. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that for your Patreon cast of the week, because that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw, what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.